3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pull that down. Okay. I have no idea if anyone is here or if I am just talking to a wall right now. But we're going to go ahead and get started. If you're watching this in replay, I don't want it to be weird. Oh, of course. So, I want to welcome everybody. There's a few things that I wanted to say straight off the top. I'm sorry that I was not didn't give you enough advance notice. Oh, sweet, somebody's here. Thank you. That I didn't give you enough notice about what today's class is. The whole idea, oh, sweet, there's people. Okay, cool. The whole idea of coming up with classes is something that I used to do a lot in the first couple of years of my teaching. Oh, sweet. And then, hey, Vancouver, sweet. I started doing it, and then after a while, and this happens if you teach movement, I think, I had enough experience with different types of learners, with my music, with exercises, that I could just start to kind of weave classes together. Sweet. I keep saying sweet because people are chiming in saying that they're here, which I love. Thank you. And so, but just so you know, on a personal level, I went to the dentist the other day because I'd been waiting to go because of the lockdown thing, and I got some bad news. And so it has kind of been preoccupying my mind, and I have another appointment coming up soon, and so just between you and me, I'm a little bit kind of, affected by it, And so when I am affected by things like that, let alone everything else that's going on right now. And, I feel weird talking about a personal struggle, but it was pretty bad news. And so when I feel that way, a lot of times I just need to move my body. And sometimes when I am feeling with angst, it's hard to, New Jersey, what's up? It's hard for me to know how to move it. And so I do in my own practice what I'm about to do with you guys, and I've done it in class, and usually this is one of the more popular classes. So here's how it works. What we do is I will give you a concept or a technique. Now this is a training flow session. And I will give you a exercise or a concept that you'll work on for the length of the song, and then I'll be talking. And since it won't be a lot of technique, we'll be kind of, thank you, Penny, we'll be kind of just flowing from one thing to the other thing. I know for a fact that I have more exercises than we'll get to, but just remember that each exercise is meant for you to just flow. Yes, these are all on replay on YouTube. You can go to my channel. There's even a playlist of my classes. Sorry, y'all, I'm answering questions as they're coming in. So as far as the support, thank you so much. Thank you so much. The donations are really, especially looking at setbacks, it's like, thank you, and I really appreciate it. And I, honestly, if I was rich as hell, I wouldn't even ask for donations because I just enjoy doing this so much and connecting with you guys. So I want to make sure we get started. I don't know if you've noticed, but I've been really trying to keep my talks down. So there was something that has been in the news, or the news itself that's been on my mind has been making me think about one of the Maidan, like the characters of the myth that the HoopPath is based on. And she was actually the second ever Maidan. And she became, even though she was like 4'2", and she was tiny with this giant afro, and beautiful brown skin, and she was friends and became best friends and a type of big sister to the prima madre of the Maidan named Ana. And Ana looked to Saza, it's kind of funny because she would have been looking down because Ana was tall and thin, but she looked up to Saza as sort of a spiritual locator for her. Saza's words had a way of helping Ana find her own spirituality, not Saza's, but her own. And she overwhelmed her with questions, and one time Saza was speaking to her, and she said, sister, your questions are so loud, there's no way you could hear the coming answers. And so I think sometimes we just need to quiet the mind and listen and see if the answer is already there. We just can't hear it over the sound of our own repeated questioning. All right, here we go. Thank you for joining me. We're going to jump into sway. Hey, Brooke. Oh, yeah, we'll lose. I included at the bottom, I'll probably take it off right now, but this is the link to the other streams. And it really is all love. Okay. Make sure I've got everything going here. Okay. Audible breath in. Carla, welcome. I'm so glad everyone's here. If you haven't done this before, this is free form movement. You can stretch, you can do whatever. I have already taken this entire class, and so I'm pretty warmed up. So I'm starting off in typical sway, and I'm blindfolded because it helps me chill out. Audible breath in. I invite you to think about what Saza said to Amel. And in the spirit of Saza, I want to quiet. I invite you to really quiet. And just listen. Not for what you want to hear or what you don't want to hear. Just listen. How you move is up to you. Open. Audible breath in. Audible breath in. New Mexico, sweet. Thanks everybody for chiming in. That was a very short sway because we're going to move into the next exercise, which is going to be very not that. It's going to be very sway-like. What you're going to do is you could do this without the hoop. I'm going to give it a short setup. But we're going to do slow, gentle opening movements. That, if you need it, we're going to work on slow, gentle. I'm using my hoop for them. Slow, gentle flow. in HoopPath, if you grip the hoop, that's samurai. If I don't grip, that's point. But slow, gentle point technique. And this will be our first flow. I'll be demoing, but the whole idea of tonight is that I give you a concept and then you do your version of it. It's like we're training together. And so I'm trying to leave as many doors and windows open to winds of your discovery. But collectively, our focal point, with or without the hoop, is slowness and gentleness. Nice and slow. Controlling, working on the whole body's movement, with or without the hoop. Control through the whole body. Keep your breathing with you. What you do with the hoop, if you have the hoop, none of that matters. Continuous, slow, gentle. Keep your breathing with you. You are calming the storm. You're the calm in the storm. How you move, how much you move, that's not important. Slow, gentle, easy with yourself, easy with your movement, that's what matters. If you're new to hooping, it might surprise you how much fun you can have keeping both hands on the hoop. It teaches you a lot about how your two hands are connected, how the two sides of the body are mirrored. Slow and gentle. If you're just joining us, we're doing slow, gentle flow right now. Oh, sweet. I really do love it when you guys chime in and tell me that you're here. And I understand, things get going. You can't always stay the whole time. But if you can't stay the whole time, all these classes are all on replay. I think I get asked that almost every day. I don't mind, but they're on YouTube, and there's a list for them. So for our next exercise, if you were watching last week, I think it was the Monday class because of the memorial. We canceled Thursday. But I talked about a concept called hot coals. And hot coals is when you pretend that the ground has hot coals. And it means that you try to keep your feet moving the whole time. The point of the exercise is to get your heart rate going, get you used to, or freeing up the ankles, feeling the bounce, and doing all that. Tonight what we're going to do is we're going to do a slow warm-up song, and what we're going to work on is hot coals while vertical rolling, okay? So vertical rolling means I'm rolling the hoop like this, and I'm going to work on hot coals while the hoop stays vertical, okay? In HoopPath, this is angle, this is vertical. Some people say angle hooping is vertical hooping, but just in HoopPath, vertical means vertical. So vertical hoop movement and rolling looks something like this, where I'm rolling it around. But we're going to add the layer of hot coals to it. So it's going to get the heart rate going. And then, if you've done this before, you feel good about yourself tonight, we're going to add hot coals to the hands. So I'm on top of hot coals, and then my hoop is also a hot coal. So what I try to do is switch hands or whatever, but just hop the hoop while hopping my feet as much as I can, right? Super aerobic way to move the hoop around. It can kind of bruise, so if it's bruising you, that's a good, you can bend the knees and ease up on that bruise. Here we go. I hope you guys are catching the theme of the class here. We just go from one exercise to the other. How you move, I could weave, whatever I want to do, it doesn't matter. This is a warm-up for my body to chill me out. Hot coals on the hands, hot coals on the feet. Whatever I do, it doesn't matter. If you can only do one, do hot coals on the feet. Again, we're not focusing so much on what we're doing with the hoop, but how we're doing the concept. Because what happens is we want to get lost in the concept and teach ourselves something new. Whatever you're doing, we're just keeping it vertical. That's to make it easy. By keeping it vertical, we're trying to make it easier to not have to think of what to do next and just move the feet. There's different currents in rolling. I just reverse the current with the swing break. Swing break. It's good to practice both currents. Okay. Enough of that craziness. Okay. Hopefully that warmed you up. Oh, sweet. Okay, so we're going to go right into our next exercise. I hope you guys are getting a full, that I'm flowing with my housemate here. So it seems like she's getting it, so it seems like, maybe we're communicating, but just every exercise, you do your best. In the HoopPath, well, now in the entire world, this is called folding. And folding is any time you kind of change, you fold the hoop like as a piece of paper, and you can imagine it along any axis, right? So this is just folding in its most basic sense. And it's a unique motion, right, because it's not going around you. Samurai folding is just gripping the hoop and whirling away at it, and then releasing it every now and then and letting the momentum just fold the hoop across, And then I can kind of tighten that up. These are just basic super folds. But for everybody else, especially if you've been taking HoopPath, you know a lot about folding. So this is our folding song. So if you were hearing Chapel Hill with me, I would just press play and tell you to do folding for the next 4 minutes. One of the reasons I played this track, though, is because the track is nice and grimy, and sometimes it's nice to kind of get low into that grime. So if you can, if nobody's watching, as you flipping and folding and doing all your folds, point, samurai, however you're folding, that you change levels, really dip in. Right? Good. I love this track. Folding. We're giving ourselves a single-minded task right now. As long as the hoop is folding, we're doing it right. Of course, I want you to feel your flow, and if you don't fold as much as I am, that's okay. Good. Some ways you can inspire yourself to fold in new ways. There's the butterfly catcher technique. I'm catching butterflies with it. Slice and dice, where I fold back and forth from one plane. Palm spins are like that. One thing that really helps me with my folds, while we're in a break in the song, was keeping my hoop higher. Keeping me more in the middle. Twirling is a type of folding, right? But right now, just any fold works. If you know what 2-point folding is, you can throw some 2-point folding in. We're not going to work on that right now, but this is 2-point folding. Okay. All right. Hope you guys had some fun. If you hate folding, at least it was only 4 minutes. So for our next exercise, I'm going to kind of give you a chance to work on something now that you're warmed up, and you're not tired. What we want to do now is drill. And so what you'll do is you'll pick something. It could be something you've been trying to work on. It could be, you could try to do what I'm doing, but it'll be something that you want to work on. We're going to play about 4 minutes of music, and you're going to commit 4 minutes to working on that, okay? So here we go. I'll talk you through it. I know people are late joining and early leaving, but I'll try to keep you posted on what you need to do. Sweet. So drilling could be anything, right? Like it could be drilling a specific move, like if I was working on a fold hop or something like that, I might just drill and get into a rhythm with this fold hop. If I was working on my rising weave, I might just sit back and find my rising weave, right? This song is dope. And we're gonna stay in that drilling space for, 4 or 5 minutes here. If you wanted to learn like samurai grip, like or the catches, you could do that. If you've been wanting to learn shoulders, whatever, but a drill. The drill that I'm gonna pick is I'm gonna work on this motion right here. And what I'm doing is I'm rolling the hoop back up towards me. Of course, you can be drilling anything you want. I'm rolling the hoop back up towards me. My left hand is on my right side. I'm gonna pull my hand across and send the hoop to the other side. This is what it looks like if you here. And so if you've done this before, this is what it looks when you start to put some body and slick it up a little bit. And then I know I'm exposing my OCD here, but this is where I can really get lost, and that's why I'm gonna shut up now. But I can really get lost in just repetitive motion, like it suits. I don't know if ADD is real, I think it is. If it is, I've got it, and this really helps with it. Giving myself the time and the space without judgment to drill something, I'm picking something easy that I know that I like to polish. But if you wanted to try to take the next 4 minutes to work on something you can't get, go for it. I like to take a simple move like this, and then put like goo on it, where I'm really gooey with the when I bring it back over. I can reverse it. This is the falling. Same thing happening, falling. Oh, wait. This is the falling. Whatever you're doing, you're just giving yourself some time and space to get good at it, to practice it. Sweet, glad you're here. While we're in the space of drilling, this is kind of geeky, but if you're a HoopPath, I'm in what's called a rising right now. The hoop is coming back up towards me, but I'm gonna hold it on my wrist, well, not my wrist, kind of like the back of my hand, like where I would point, and then I'm gonna start to pitch it over, and it doesn't like look as cool as it feels, but I'm here and I pitch it over. I don't think this is getting across. I'm gonna do this better here. There we go. When it comes to that hand, I'm kind of turning it out. I don't know if you can tell. It's the same move, but one thing you can drill is just trying to keep, like I'll go back to my weave, but I could just drill on trying to make the hoop look like it's floating, you know, try to make the hoop look light. Whoop. So it's not so much the technique, but the concept, you know, that I want this floating hoop. Okay. As always, if at any point, for any reason, regardless of whether it's because of the class, you have any kind of breakthrough or like something or whatever, please feedback. We love it. I love it. Okay. Okay, here we go. Class is about to get a little bit more athletic. And we're going to start off on the waist. I'm going to talk to you for a second, and then we're going to do 2 core exercises, and then we'll kind of free it up and let you, well, you'll see. Okay, so I'm on the core right now. Right now, gosh, I need to, so I'll just get back here. Right now, I am moving in something in HoopPath we would call 2-tree, unrooted. And I am unrooted because my feet, kind of like hot coals, my feet are just constantly moving. Believe it or not, some people think this is harder on the waist. I think it's easier, but whatever. Because there's also rooted, hello, and rooted is when I think you're going to need to see my feet. Yeah, okay. And rooted is when my feet are not moving. And this can be a very challenging way to learn to core hoop. And what you try to do with rooted is it's not that you always keep your feet there, but your feet are always rooted. So this would be like with one foot in front of the other. This would be rooted at the shoulders. And then when you want to smooth out your flow, you try to figure out all these different rooted positions and smooth it out there so that when you start to dance, it just kind of all comes together for you, right? And so what we're going to do is we're going to do mostly rooted because it's hard for the whole song, but that won't mean that you can't move your feet. It'll just mean that you'll try to keep your feet more or less on the ground and work everything else. The energy is about to pick way up. So just get ready. Here we go. I'm going to do this. You don't have to do this with me. Get down. I love doing this blindfolded. So I'm not going to do it blindfolded because I don't want to turn around. But if you wanted to do it blindfolded, it would make sense. Get down. So, just so we're clear, if you've done HoopPath before, or you know what this exercise is, go do the exercise. But if you haven't done it before, you can watch me and try to do it. But you're going to try to open up. You're going to try to open up to your own flow. And hopefully you're alone because rooted hooping can look a little weird. Right? Right? It may not look impressive, but this rooted hooping can be really good for your body, and it can really smooth things out. Good.
fucking beat.
Wait. I can turn my direction, right? So I'm on 2. I'm going to turn. I can turn back the other way. And then I can make that whole turning, that whole cutting and stalling my flow. I can use my rooted hooping to go into earth angle. I can use my rooted hooping to go into earth angle. Try to free your heels up from the ground. I'm sending my weight to the front of my feet. Of course, you could be doing anything.
Get down to the fucking beat.
This is rooted shoulders. This is rooted.
Get down.
I could root and sort of skid across.
Get down to the fucking beat.
Rooted ankle.
Get down to the fucking beat.
That wasn't good. Open your feet up and feel the front and back of the foot and feel the bounce there. No matter where the hoop is, when you're on core rooted hooping, feeling the bounce between both legs, but also front and back. What I like to do, what really helps me sometimes with rooted, is I bring my heels up off the ground, like I'm wearing heels, like I'm a little kid pretending to wear heels, and picking my feet up off the ground like I'm a little kid. Do you feel how that changes? I did a whole exercise on this on the workshop circuit. People thought I had lost my mind, but I really think it helps. All right. For this next exercise, if you know how to shoulder hoop, we're going to work on shoulder hooping. This is the song. I've only done one performance my whole life. I've done one performance, and it was to this song, and it was for the first flow show, and I was nervous as hell, and I never came back from it. So we're in shoulder flow right now. I do this in class a lot. I'm going to stay on the shoulders. If you're new to shoulders, you just spend the next 4 minutes trying shoulders. Sometimes when I'm having a guided flow session, I might work on keeping my, wrist in night, like keeping my hands back in night and stalling. But with a guided flow practice like we're having now, you're giving yourself loads of room to explore. Shoulder flow. I'm going to bounce it back in the other current because I can. Sometimes I might give myself a task, just dangle my arms more or something. I know it sounds crazy, but one way to stay motivated in your practice is just variety. In my shoulder flow right now. Feel your day side and your night side. Your night side, the space is behind you, obviously. Your day is in front of you.
still gets me. Shoulder flow. Hands in front stall. Barrel roll. I really like to do stalls out of a barrel. You just bounce to get it back in the barrel, and then you can stall it right out of it. Ha, almost. Here we go. You're almost there. You're doing great. You're doing great. Too many students think they can learn stuff a lot quicker than they can. And that expectation is what slows them up the most. The expectation that they should be getting it quicker actually gets in the way of progress. Oh, Oops. All right, don't listen to that. That didn't happen. What do you think? Can we keep the energy up, or should we take it down a notch? Keep it up? I think we're going to keep it up. Okay. So what we're going to do now, if you're watching this, then you definitely know brakes and paddles. And brakes and paddles for us are like our tools that we like to keep sharp. So this is a brake and paddle song. For the next 4 minutes, you're going to work on brakes and paddles, reverses. I'll be talking to you a little bit. We'll keep the energy kind of high, and then we're going to slow it down a little bit and give you a break. Thanks for joining me tonight. Really appreciate it. I'll show you some brakes and paddles. All right, here we go. Brakes and paddles. These are paddles. These are brakes. Pinches, whatever. You know how to do these. Just do it.
Even elevators keep smiling. Baseline, baseline. Even elevators keep smiling.
I'm too sexy. Did not.
Even elevators keep smiling. Baseline, baseline. Even elevators keep smiling.
Or simply the good shit.
Even elevators keep smiling. Baseline, baseline, drop down. Even elevators keep smiling.
Break, 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 break.
Move your body.
Even elevators keep smiling.
If you turn with your brakes,
Baseline, drop down.
you make them tighter, you keep it flatter.
Even
Turn.
elevators keep smiling.
Brakes and paddles. Paddles are good when it slows.
Good shit.
Brakes are good when it goes fast.
Even elevators keep smiling.
These are paddles.
Baseline, baseline. Even elevators keep smiling.
I'm too sexy. Did not.
Even elevators keep smiling. Baseline, baseline. Even elevators keep smiling.
Or simply the good shit.
Even elevators keep smiling.
Brake, 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 brake.
Baseline, drop
These are waist brakes.
Even elevators keep smiling.
Move your body.
Even elevators keep smiling.
Angle brakes. Now, I don't know how many people are still with me after this. We are going to kind of slow it up just a little bit, though. And yeah, okay. So this next exercise can be tough for some people to understand at first. So I'm going to kind of demo it. And the idea of the exercise is to make you intentionally reckless so that you open up the unexpected and have fun with the unexpected. And this is a technique, this is a pretty famous technique throughout the world, but Brecken really exemplifies this style, and it's called Drunken Master, and it's sort of a controlled chaos-looking move, but it can be fun for unlocking things. And so what we try to do, I'll just sort of show, I'll press play, and then we'll sort of start this demo. You're going to try to hoop as if you're drunk. If you're never drunk, if you've never been drunk before, just imagine being really clumsy and thinking that you can sing. All right, here we go. And I'll give you an example. One way you can start is just to keep it super simple. But since we were just shoulder hooping, this is Drunken Master.
Not bombs.
If I didn't know how to hoop while doing it,
Trying to get up, man. You know what time it is. I crawl out of bed about 8 in the morning, start burping 8:30. Today is my birthday, it's August 14th, and I'm guzzling Rossi. I got me a 40, ain't nothing gonna stop me. I'm awfully faded, made it to a new year in my life, and everything's fine. My mind is altered and all. The party must start. When ending, I'm pushing rewind.
Now come on and gerb with me. Get your boogie on and come on and gerb with me.
if you're not sure how to move drunk,
Come on and gerb
just
with
do
me.
something super unexpected and react to it.
And
you'll know what it's like.
There's more on the grill as we blaze it up. I puff
You can
on
take
the
big
dust and
dramatic
you take
steps
it.
when you go to
Your
places.
eyes are swelling with blood and I love it. We blunt it with juice and goose on the stomach. I need you to come and take shots of the slugger. Don't
You can try
bother
to
with
hug
chases.
everybody
You'll
that
make
you're
me come
seeing.
swallow the hypnotic time. Your chest is burning from drinking Old Crow. The kitchen is slowly
Now come on and gerb with me. Get your boogie on and come on and gerb with me. Little sister now and come on and gerb with me. Bring your mama too and come on and gerb with me.
Turning around,
We can all
pretending you're
get
dizzy.
wear tuxedos, push bleach
Not
through needles
walking
so I
a
don't
straight
catch
line.
nothing. Come holler, man. We drank our last dollar to dream about nothing but living and loving. No tripping, just kissing and humping. You sucking that nose candy. 4 O's brandy, man, she needs weed. She's crawling the wall, breaking her nails. That helped her and helped crank. Man, I'm off to the banquet. I'm
Come on
hungry
and
as
gerb
fuck.
with me. Get your boogie on and come on and gerb with me.
The Drunken Master practice,
Come on and gerb
the
with
Drunken
me.
Master exercise is one that can really free you up if you're feeling locked into the same moves all the time. You feel like you're doing the same thing.
Allergy got me following crowds who smile and swallow them down. So proud to mix the clear with brown. Integrate now, sip grapes, hit lace, and ape to the face while I chase the dragon. Splash and asking your mama for dang. I pour out drink for PBF1. Will Lafiti, my boy John is on. The keg is full of Heineken brew. R.I.P. goes out to D. My girl's a problem, the other girls hate her. They hate when I bring her to parties like this. Cause she don't know shit about drink and can't relate. I shouldn't have
Not
brought
sure
her
what to
at
do.
all.
Fall
Hallucinating
backwards 3
mushrooms
steps.
in my tea.
Fall
Addicted
forward
to
3 steps.
40s, good times, good weed.
Now come on and gerb with me. Get your boogie on and come on and gerb with me. Little sister now and come on and gerb with me. Bring your mama too and come on and gerb with me. We can all get down. Come on and gerb with me.
All right. All right. You know what's funny about that exercise is I took it and did it on the road with a lot of people, and it was some of their best hooping of the weekend. But, you know, I think it's more important to just, like, to allow yourself to be free, you know, like in your movement, and then just to react to it. What happens, you know, a lot of times it's the expertise that you don't think you have, which is blocking drunken master. It's the reason you can't get sloppy is you actually do have the expertise that you sometimes undervalue. So anyway, we're going to move into our, oh wow, yeah, we're almost at the end here. I knew we'd run out of stuff. Let's see. Yeah, okay. Well, I think actually this would be a good time just to free hoop from here. Looks like that's kind of what I had planned anyway. I was going to do something called a piace exercise, which is when you try to respond to a bunch of different rhythms. But I think we'll just, actually, let's do that. We'll end on that one. You can hoop any way you want to, and you're just responding to different rhythms. Oh, you know what? Okay, let's go. The song is only 3 minutes. It's a little bit more high energy than I'd want right now, but we'll slow it down right after this. Actually, I think we'll just free hoop. I didn't realize it was quite this late. You've been going pretty great. I hope you had a good class. What I was going to suggest is called a piace exercise. And you try to find your rhythm with the rhythm of the song. And you make that what it's about. And so when the rhythm changes, your rhythm changes of the song. Now I'm in a new rhythm listening to the song. You could waist hoop, the technique doesn't matter. It's the rhythm that you're in. Find one rhythm in the song, move your body to that rhythm. Whatever the hoop is doing doesn't matter. It slows up, I slow up. Trying to keep up with the song. One beat in the song. Rhythm with the music. We're gonna go into our free hoop from here. I hope you had a good class. Thank you guys for joining me. Sometimes it's fun to just pick one sound. Okay, actually, we're gonna listen to something else. Thank you guys. Actually, let's turn it down a little bit. No, yeah, this is good. We'll slow it down a little bit. Thank you guys for joining me. free hoop. You guys are welcome. Oh, thank you. If you need to bail, I understand. I hope you had a good glass. I hope you broke a good sweat.
Day and night, I toss and turn, I keep
This is our
stressing
free
my
hoop.
mind. I look for peace, but see I don't attain.
Next class
What I
is
need for
Thursday,
keeps the silly game
7
we
o'clock.
play.
Always.
Now look at this. Madness, the magnet keeps attracting me. I try to run it, but see I'm not that fast. I think I'm first, but surely finish last. Cause day and night, the lonely stoner seems to free his mind at night. He's all alone through the day and night. The lonely loner seems to free his mind at night. At night, day and night. The lonely stoner seems to free his mind at night. He's all alone, some things will never change. The lonely loner seems to free his mind at night. At night, hold the phone. The lonely stoner, Mr. Solo Dolo. He's on the move, can't seem to shake the shade. Within his dreams, he sees the life he made. The pain is deep. A silent sleeper, you won't hear a peep beep. The girl he wants don't seem to want him to. It seems the feelings that she had her through.
Thank you, Hillary.
Cause day and night,
Thank you,
the lonely
Jennifer.
stoner seems to free his mind. at
Thanks,
night.
everybody. Feels good to get love. I appreciate it. Thanks for stopping in. Your time is valuable to me, too. Thanks for sharing it with me. I really appreciate that. If you've been doing even half of these classes, I'm sure you've got to be getting pretty good at stuff. That's the way it works. It's not me. It's just putting the time and the effort in.
Slow mo. When the tempo slows up and creates that new. He seems alive though he is feeling blue.
All replays on
The sun
YouTube.
is shining, man, he's super cool. The lonely nights, they fade away, he slips into his white Nikes. He smokes a clip and then he's on the way. To free his mind and searcher, to free his mind and searcher, to free his mind and searcher. Day and night, the lonely stoner seems to free his mind at night. He's all alone through the day and night. The lonely loner seems to free his mind at night. At night, day and night. The lonely stoner seems to free his mind at night. He's all alone, some things will never change. The lonely loner seems to free his mind at night.
I am doing podcasts. They're on my, Jen just asked if I'm doing a podcast. It's on Future Hero. I haven't done a new one. If you're asking me if I've done a new one, I have not started that back, but I'm going to. If you want to hear what I have done so far, they're on the Future Hero SoundCloud. And Future Hero Podcast is also on Spotify. Yeah, no new podcast just yet. Okay. Thank you for joining me. This next song is the last song.
is a force you think you understand. Everything that rises falls, but nothing on the sea is nothing on the sand. Everywhere the darkness calls, I'm gonna make it up to you somehow. I'm gonna make it up to you somehow.
Thank you, everybody.
Trouble is a force you try to hide away. Know when to avert your eyes, but nothing in the night is nothing in the day. Everywhere the darkness cries, I'm gonna make it up to you somehow. I'm gonna make it up to you somehow. Trouble only moves one way. Nothing can escape this flame. All the troubled hearts and all the distant stars decay the same. I'm gonna make it up to you somehow. I'm gonna make it up to you somehow.
Thank you guys so much. Have a great week.